Hi guys, Bobby Gas here. I gonna show you the rest of the 45s that I got at that Dr. Mouth yard sale 2 weeks ago with Darren. I already showed the those sleeved ones, and now I'll show you the the ones that don't have no sleeves on it. I think I showed a couple of them already. Yeah, Charlena on the Ark, the Black Label Ark. Oh yeah, I showed the Trogs on the Fontana. I didn't show this, I don't think. Etta James. Bobby is his name. I collect all records that have Bobby in the title. And the one that used to really bug me an awful lot when I was a kid, I was a young teenager, and Marcy Blaine come out with a song called I Want to Be Bobby's Girl, and I used to get cut up pretty good about that all the time. Etta James, Bobby is his name, and on the flip side is Mellow Fellow. Me a mellow fellow? Sometimes. Next up here is Tom Dooley, the Kingston Trio. That was a really big hit for a lot of years. Tom Dooley, the Kingston Trio, eh? Ruby Red on the flip side. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Poor boy, you're gonna die. Well, here's the Chimes, Summer Night. This is a dirty record, but it'll clean up great. Once in a While is on the flip side. Charms, the Chimes, that was a very early doo-wop group, eh? Canadian on the Zircon. Next up here, one of my favorite country and western guys. Lefty Frizzell, Saginaw, Michigan. And on the flip side is When It Rains the Blues. It ain't a blues song. I know it. I still got them. Did I sell them? Yeah, I did. I had a couple of Lefty Frizzell records. Albums, I should say. How about them Blue Jays, eh? Next up here, Gene Pitney, Mecca on United Artists. Is this Canadian, this one here? Yeah. Mecca, Gene Pitney. What a voice he had, eh? Funny thing, when Beatlemania happened and the British invasion and all them guys that were popular in the early 60s, they didn't sell many records once the British invasion hit, right? And what happened with Gene Pitney is he went over to Italy and made a fortune over there working over in Italy. Here's Little Anthony and the Imperials. I knew the sax player in this band. Take Me Back. And on the flip side is Our Song. That was a Toronto band, Little Anthony and the Imperials. Next up here we got Bobby Rydell on a British Cameo Parkway. Forget Him. I seen Bobby Rydell, and I think it was about 62 or 63. He was lip singing, right? They had a radio station here, Chum 1050, that every exhibition year, it's running right now, the Canadian National Exhibition, and every year Chum would have a trailer down that they'd be broadcasting from the exhibition, and the Chum trailer they had flat cars like they have in a post office or something. And they used that for a stage. They had two of them, and they would get them up there, you know, Bobby Rydell, Bobby Curtola, the Chiffons, the Shirelles, you know, the Diamonds, all kinds of bands up there, and they would lip sing their hits, right? And that's what I've seen Bobby Rydell was lip singing that hit there, right? Next up here is In Your Ear, The Straps. British. I don't know this. It's a promo, you know, not for sale. It says there in the center. I don't know it. I'll check it out. On the flip side is Rita. Next up here is the Hollies. Carrie Ann. Flip is that sings Signs That Will Never Change. Next up here, Sonny and Cher, I Got You, Babe, their big hit. Canadian Atco. Flip side of this is It's Gonna Rain. It's raining right now, actually. You know, nothing serious. I gotta put my glasses on. Judy, Terry Stafford. Flip side of that is the big one that everybody thought was Elvis Presley. Suspicion. I won $20 off a guy that when I played this on the jukebox, the guy says, "Oh, that's Elvis Presley." And I said, "No, it's not." And he says, "Yes, it is." And he says, "Do you want to bet?" And I says, "Yeah, sure, I'll bet." He says, $20, and he slapped it on the table. I put my 20 up, but I says, "Go look on the jukebox." And he went over and he had a look at the name. He come back, "Oh, I always thought that was, you know, Elvis Presley." I mean, when Suspicion come out, it was a hit for, you know, quite a while. What are some glasses? Next up here is Richie Valens' double hit, La Bamba on this side here and Donna on the flip side. He died in that plane crash I mentioned in the last 45s with the Big Bopper and Buddy Holly. Here's the Everly Brothers. How Can I Meet Her? That's Old Fashioned is on the flip side. Other Everly Brothers here. Ebony Eyes. And on the flip side is Walk Right Back. They were both good songs, eh? The Four Seasons, Dawn. I used to really like these guys, the Dawn, you know, the Four Seasons. Candy Girl, they had a bunch of hits that I liked, eh? And on the flip side is No Surfing Today. Kansas City on the Goldberry, Wilbert Harrison. And Listen My Darling on the flip side there. Kansas City, a big, big, big hit. I remember one time it was on the radio and I was just a kid, you know, and I was singing it, and my mom looks at me and she says, "You like that rock and roll Kansas City?" I said, "Oh yeah, I like it a lot." Do You Love Me, the Dave Clark 5. Do You that was a big hit too, eh? Flip side is Chiquita. Bits and Pieces was another big hit by those guys. Oh yeah, I played this. Paul Evans sitting in the back seat. Seven little girls sitting in the back seat, hugging and a kissing with Fred. Funny song. Johnny Horton, Sink to Bismarck. Flip side is the same old tale the crow told me. I remember when this song come out way back when we were on a trip going down to the Maritimes, because my parents, they both lived in the or were born in the Maritimes. We were visiting our grandparents, and we were going through the States, New England, and in the car, that's all we sang, me and my two brothers sitting in the back seat of this old car, Sink to Bismarck. We gotta sink to Bismarck, 'cause the world depends on us. And Buddy Holly on Coral, Valley of Tears, and the flip side is You're So Square. Anytime you find Buddy Holly on Coral, you grab it. Here's the Safaris, Wipeout. You know, back in the early 60s and the late 50s, there was a lot of guitar bands. My Boy Lollipop, Millie Small. My Boy Lollipop. These all need a wash, but they're all in great shape. Wash. That's what my dad, instead of a wash, that's what my pop used to say. He called it a wash. Go wash yourself. He didn't call jeans jeans. He called them dungarees too. And here's a The Animals, Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood, and Club a Go-Go on the flip side. But see how the wear on the label is? That's from when we used to play our 45s. We'd have these plastic things that you could stack the 45s on. You stack the 45s on them, and you know, they would drop automatically. But so that's where from the label. I mean, when you stack them on top of each other, they don't. The vinyl, the playing surfaces don't sit on each other. Just the label, eh? So you'll find a lot of records in my collection that play great, but have that like that. They were stacked. I used to do it myself. We all did back in the day. It was, you know, a lot of times the inserts, the plastic inserts, you know, they get worn out and they wouldn't fit exactly in the 45. So having that big circular automatic dispenser of 45s was just great, right? Next up here, the Flying Lizards, Money. The Shangri-La's Leader of the Pack on the Redbird. That's on the flip side of that. What is Love? The Leader of the Pack. Vroom, 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 vroom. Darlene Love, Take It With Me. She should have never married that Phil Spector, right? And the flip side of this, Wait Until My Bobby Gets Home. Look at all that paper on there. Wait Until My Bobby Gets Home. I got that. I also have that. I don't know if it's on a Billy's record, though. The Guess Who, Canadian band, Star Baby. Flip side is Musicone. I'm not the big fan of the Guess Who. They had the one great song, American Woman, as far as I'm concerned, and all the rest of their stuff is kind of commercial and mediocre to me. A lot of people love their music, but that's okay. We all got different tastes, don't we? We better have. Next up here is the Drifters, Up Jumped the Devil. I remember when I forget what company it was, but they remastered all of the Drifters hits and put it on a cassette, and I forget how many hits it was, right? But I paid $32 for it, right, plus whatever tax, and you know, I think it was Columbia, right? Because I was getting all kinds of free ones off of them, you know. That stuff, you put $1 in, you get 10 free albums or 10 free this or that, right? I guess we all did that. Way down yonder in New Orleans, Freddie Cannon. Quality. I like these old qualities. They're Canadian, eh? These sort of... That's a Canadian label right there, man. I'm a Canucker, you know. I'm a homer. Bobby Helms, The Fool and the Angel. And on the flip side is 100 Hearts. The Diamonds, She Say, Damn Dooley Doom, and From the Bottom of My Heart. The Diamonds. Those guys actually, their very first concert in front of an audience was in my church basement. Two of them used to shop in the same record store I did, Mason's Music, on Eglinton by Oakwood Avenue. Ernie Maresca, Shout, Shout, Knock Yourself Out on the Seville Records, eh? Crying Like a Baby Over You. Ernie Marcella, Shout, Shout, Knock Yourself Out. That was a fairly big hit back in the day. Benny King, A Man Without a Dream, and Tears, Tears, Tears. Benny King, formerly of the Drifters. You know that record, Stand By Me, that made him famous? He heard it, you know, and he says, well, I can't be doing that, you know, all of these violins. That's not me, though. The Brothers Johnson, The Devil. Flip side is I'll Be Good to You. That's probably the hit, I'll Be Good to You, but I like the flip side, The Devil. Well, they're both good, actually, aren't they? Bobby Lewis, Nothing But the Blues. He's the guy who invented the swim. I'm tossing and turning again, because he did it originally, eh? Tossing and turning. Here's a song that my kid brother used to like when he was a child, and we all used to make a lot of fun of him. Puff. You know, Puff the Magic Dragon lived by the woods or something, and the flip side is Pretty Mary. But Puff's, that was a fairly big hit, man. The kids loved it. Johnny Cash, I just thought I'd like to let you know. On the flip side is It's Just About Time. Like I said, I love these Canadian quality labels. I ain't got too many more to go. I don't know, half a dozen it looks like. Oh, here's Hot Chocolate. Was a big tune, You Sexy Thing. And on the flip side is Amazing Skin Song. These guys do a song called Emma. It's fantastic. Masquerade, Edward Bear. And on the flip side of that is Pirate King. I one time went to a fraternity party for the University of Toronto, a frat, I forget, Delta Chi was it? I forget. And these guys were the house band. The party was, there was big mansions down on Huron Street, these old Elizabethan houses with 3 floors, huge places. And the basement was huge, and this is where they played, and you know where the party was and everybody. I went down there. I was in high school, my last year of high school. I was trying to score a university chick is what I was down there for, right? I had never heard. Well, they had I think they had a record out already when I was down there. And that was 67 or 68. Anyhow, the party was exactly like the movie, like Animal House, right? You know, a guy laying in puke, you know, and, you know, everybody screwing around, and, you know, there was rooms upstairs, and it was quite the bash, believe me. I had a lot of fun that night. Next up here is Johnny Symbol and Mr. Bassman. Hey, Mr. Bassman. You know, boom, 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 boom. And they don't have fun songs anymore. We had a lot of fun songs back in the day. Barbara Lewis, Make Me Your Baby. That was a fair size hit back in the day. Love to Be Loved. Make Me Your Baby. Though that was, whoops. Oh. The Lemon Pipers, Green Tambourine. I dropped them last couple of records. They're on the floor. Let me get them. And the last two, the Hollies on a Carousel. And who's this? Oh, the Virtues. Guitar Boogie Shuffle on a Canadian Spartan. Well, that's all the rest of them, guys, the rest of the 45s. It was, you know, I pay less than $1 a piece for them. I just grabbed the whole pile of them like that, and I told him, give me a price. And, you know, and I had a bunch of albums there, too, and I, you know, give me a price for all of it, right? And he did, and I got them pretty cheap. Anyhow, that's it, guys. Later. How long's this been? Holy Christ, 22 minutes. My, how time flies when you're having fun.